Find out why Coastal Carolina will finish the year in the top 7 in the country and why James Blackman actually might make an NFL roster. And finally, how you are going to get paid to watch this one. Let's get it.
This is Enough Said Sports.
Hey guys, I hope all is well in your world. It is all well here at Enough Said Sports as we come to you with another preview and prediction for college football here on YouTube. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or evening, whenever you may be watching this, to support us here on YouTube. For additional content and more picks like this, please support us on Patreon. Click the link below, become a true fan of Enough Said Sports, and get the aid your bank account needs. Now let's get started with this week's matchup. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers going up against the Arkansas State Red Wolves. It's going to be Thursday, October the 7th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPNU. Before we get into what I talked about at the top of the video, why I believe Coastal Carolina will actually finish in the top 7 in the country at year's end, and also why James Blackman actually has a pretty good shot of making an NFL roster, we're going to first get into how you're going to get paid to watch this one. The spread in this contest is the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. It opens at 18.5 points. They're favored, and the total in this one is 71. Head coach for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers is Jamie Chadwell. He is 5-0. Last time out, they won 59-6 against ULM. Very, very dominant performance. Quarterback Grayson McCall has 80.2% completion percentage so far this season, 12.9 yards per pass attempts, 10 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Up front, they have 4 seniors and 1 sophomore. And this offensive line is ranked 11th in the country in pass protection as far as the amount of sacks that they're giving up. So a very, very good offensive line that way. Defensively, they run a 3-4 defense, and they do have a projected third-round draft pick for the NFL, Jeffrey Gunter, at the linebacker position. When I watched them on film against ULM, they look very, very dominant on both sides of the football. They've done a really, really nice job as this season has gone on. I've done a couple of games on them earlier in the season when they were up against some inferior opponents as well, and they really struggled with that. But here recently, they've gotten the job done, and they look really, really strong offensively and defensively. They've really picked up the pace on the defensive side of the football. This team is really, really clicking and really doing a great job. Head coach Jamie Chadwell is doing an amazing job with his team. Grayson McCall is doing an amazing job quarterbacking this team. On the other side, you got Butch Jones, really, really struggling with Arkansas State. They're 1-4 on the season. Last time out, they lost 59-33 to Georgia Southern. James Blackman is the quarterback, transferred from Florida State. It's his first year with Arkansas State, 59.3 completion percentage, 7.3 yards per pass attempt, 8 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Up front, they have 1 senior, 3 juniors, and 1 freshman. The freshman is the center there for the Arkansas Red Wolves. They're very, very awful up front. They're ranked 121st in the country as far as pass protection and overall offensive line efficiency rating. Defensively, they run a 4-3. They're starting 2 freshmen, 1 at linebacker and 1 at the safety position. So when I watch them on film, they're very, very explosive offensively. At times when they can protect Blackman, he seems to always be under duress. They don't really run the ball that great. I guess they do get some things going, but this team is very, very challenged. But they have been explosive at times. They've scored a lot of points. They did a great job against Tulsa, scoring a ton of points. They were right in that game. And then they scored a ton of points against Georgia Southern, even though Georgia Southern tore them apart with the run game. And defensively, they're really, really struggling. They really need some help on that side of the football. I'm not really sure what they can do, but they're really, really struggling, and they don't look very good on the defensive side of the football. So with all that being said, guys, this one's pretty simple for me. I really like Coastal in this contest to cover this 18.5 points. And just for the purposes of line movement, because I believe this line will go up, I am good to go all the way up to 21.5 points in this one. I think anything beyond 21.5, I think you're going to be pushing it. But I think that Coastal Carolina should be able to cover this fairly easily, and I'm going to tell you why. I feel that because Coastal Carolina runs that triple option, some in their offense about 60% of the time, which is a very unique scheme because they run the spread and that option. I think that they're going to be able to have their way with Arkansas State here because you look at Georgia Southern, they're very, very similar in that regard. Of course, they run it a little bit more, but still, with some of the plays that the Arkansas State Red Wolves gave up against that kind of a look, this doesn't bode well for them going up against Coastal Carolina. Also, defensively, they don't really have an answer. And then when you look at this Coastal Carolina defensive line, the one thing that they do very well is they get after the quarterback, and that seems to be a very, very big weakness for this Arkansas Red Wolves team. So I really think they're going to struggle here at home. I'll take Coastal Carolina minus 18.5, and I also like the over 71 points in this one. I'm very comfortable all the way up to 75, just for the purposes of line movement, should the total go up on us. So that's what I got, guys. Really appreciate all the support on the betting side on this one, and look forward to just continuing our momentum. We're doing very, very well this season so far. Now, to talk about what I addressed at the top of this video, Coastal Carolina, I believe they're going to finish in the top 7 in the country this year because when you look at their schedule, they don't have anybody that's going to challenge them for the rest of the way here. I think they're going to finish this season undefeated, and they're going to go into a bowl game probably going up against a team that's probably going to be missing a lot of players, more than likely, because some of these better teams that end up in those New Year's Six bowls, which I believe that Coastal Carolina has a great opportunity to end up in. If they're not in the national championship, similar to what Florida did last year, a lot of those guys just didn't play. I think you're going to see that again. They're probably going to end up getting a matchup like that, and I think they got a great chance of winning a matchup like that. They get, let's say get an Arkansas or somebody like that in a bowl game, and they got a lot of guys going to the NFL, so they don't want to play in it. I think Coastal has a great chance of winning that and finishing in the top 7 in the country this season. I think be a great story, and I am for college football expansion in the playoffs. I believe there should be more teams, and I think Coastal Carolina will make that case even more obvious this year. As far as Arkansas State, I spoke about James Blackman. I really like what I see on him film-wise. This is the first time I've really gotten an opportunity to study Arkansas State. I really like what I see. He seems to really have some pretty decent arm talent, some good mobility, and considering that his line is ranked 121st in the country in efficiency, I think he's doing a really, really good job to be able to put up any kind of decent numbers. So I think this guy, he might be a free agent signee to some football team, and maybe he can sneak onto an NFL roster in the next couple seasons. But want to give him a shout out because considering what he has to work with, I think he's doing a pretty dang good job. So with all that being said, guys, thank you. Really appreciate all the support. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video. And like I said at the top, hey, for more picks like this, I've got even more content like this over on Patreon for those of you who want to have additional opportunities to make even more money watching these games. Thanks as always. Take care, and I will talk to you again really soon. Take care, guys.